Came in looking for a friend I used to know. His voice was red and blue, it hummed so low. Aisles roll like ocean waves, the signs all sway. I swear I saw him turning down the juice, running down the street. The ceiling drips like candle wax, cherry life in Angeles City. The grapes are whispering my name, but they don't know the rules of the game. I can't carry this much Kool-Aid, slipping, sloshing in my arms. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, stand up for yourself. Drinking the Kool-Aid, Philippine style, stay blind, follow destructive behaviors or ideologies. Hey Kool-Aid man, hey Kool-Aid man, hey Kool-Aid man, hey Kool-Aid man. The soda hisses, little rhymes, the barcode sings in silver chimes. The intercom calls out my name, but I don't think I played the game. I can't carry this much Kool-Aid, it's bubbling up, it's getting strong. The bottles slosh, they slip like water, and my hands are made of fog. Oh, I lost my grip, and the world spilled out. Red and blue rivers rolling down my feet. People staring, faces stretching, dripping colors swirling deep.
Hey, smile, be happy.
Carry this much Kool-Aid, slipping, sloshing.
MB is in the house. You guys can hear me?
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, stand up for yourself. Drinking the Kool-Aid, Philippine style, stay blind, follow destructive behaviors or ideologies. Hey Kool-Aid man, hey Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah! Kool-Aid man, follow everyone and just be dumb. Yeah. Kool-Aid man.
Hey, what is going on? Good morning, good morning. Why is it? I sit here for like 2 hours in the morning. George is officially out this morning. Believe it or not, he's up, but he's out. But I sit here for the last 2 hours, like watching other channels, reading the news. I was feeding the kittens, doing my thing, and not once did I touch my face until the camera came on. It must be some sort of psychological situation. I know it seems and has been some sort of allergy season going on. Good morning again. Smiling, be happy was in the house first to make the comment. MB is in the house saying hello. Guys, I almost didn't do it live. George was going to join me tomorrow. I decided to do a live. I mentioned that on Saturday. And somewhere between just feeling tired and flu-like to just, a whole lot busy with the cats. The kittens, we've got set up in a cat house upstairs. I've been posting videos on the second channel, Expatainment. And I went up there to feed and clean and all the cat boxes. And I set the camera down. So we put one of the house cameras down on the kittens so I can hear them because I heard them screeching earlier. They were like, wow, 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 wow. And I was like, great, they got out again because one got out in between the teeny tiny gate. I don't know how, but he's the biggest cat. It's got the biggest head, and he slipped through the little teeny thing. So I had to tape it down yesterday. Today they were in there, but it sounded like they were in the hallway upstairs. But nope, they're in there. I could see them. So I'm glad we got the camera so we don't have to run up there every 2 seconds. So, but doing really good. They're growing like a weed. They're barely eating. Good morning, Midlife Escape. Slick Rick is in the house. Scott's in the house. Today, guys, make sure you do a thumbs up on the video to push it out. The last live stream was extremely slow. It does help. There was like nothing really going on. I think a lot of people were busy. It was a Friday night in the U.S. and but to help push this out, make your comments, questions, say hello to everybody in the room. Let me know where you guys are. Let me know the weather. I will let you know one of the stories I'm going to cover. I'm going to go back to what we originally used to do. Alex abroad has a second channel. I think it's called Asia Now, Asia News or something. And we've been watching him for a while. We've also done an interview with him. I'm really fond of Alex. A lot of you guys should probably know who he is. He's been covering the news a bunch. The reason I kind of stopped on that is I got tired of waking up and George too and busting his chops for not gathering news about what was going on. Plus, we were doing expat help and covering drama topics. And I just had talk about letting the Kool-Aid go, getting into the Kool-Aid. It was just too much for me. I congratulate him on running that news channel. It's not as easy as it seems unless he's paying somebody to do all that legwork and stories and put all the clips together, plus his channel, because he still has to record, upload. So he's either got help or he's getting no sleep. So I do appreciate his channel. But today I'm going to get back into it because the drama is dead out there. I'll tell you right now, the drama, expat change. The only thing new in the expat world is they came up saying that they're still working on the nomad visa. Understand, a nomad visa, really, I'll be surprised if they don't stick that on YouTubers. We've discussed this before. I try not to get too much into it, but mention every now and then about people, it's still considered a full-time job for people that are directly getting paid for it, and that it is their full-time jobs. And the proper Filipinos and expats have registered their channel. Like George's got the channel registered, and but that nomad visa may be that for the ones that come in here and stay a year or two. They may need to use that type of visa to stay here and still do that type of thing. It's still a digital job. Whether they're recording out and about, putting it on, it's still a digital job. Would be that other visa that's supposed to be the foreign investor visa. So that's the only thing new that had come up. And I seen that every man has a story. His wife, Jen, I think she did a video, I can't tell you how long, 5, 7, 8 days ago. She has been posting some videos on his channel, and it showed Rogan. He is a cute little bugger, I'll tell you that right now. So I seen her. She did a video previous to that. To me, it looked highly scripted, but it really doesn't matter whether it was scripted or not. But she did a good job at that. She did that. And been watching the Filipina P and some stuff that she covered. One of the videos that came up in my feed, because we're subscribed to her, was where she told her life story. And like she said, someday she may write a book. Yeah, I figured she was leaving a lot of it out, but let's see what else came up. Let me know what's going on. I know that I said that I would cover Dexo and Jim. Again, no strength for that. That just seems like it's going to take way too much time. There's been some buzz where people wanted it covered. I was just going to cover it for the drama's sake. I'll probably get around to it. And if I didn't mention on that German girl, that Wanderlust channel or whatever, she did end up going back home. She gathered a bunch of money on one of those pages for collecting money, and looks like her boyfriend came back to help or was helping her. And her parents finally came, and she did go back. So I'm glad that she made it back to Germany. So today is going to be about asking questions. I'm going to give answers. I may just give answers and ask more questions of you guys. And I'm going to cover a few stories. Hey, what's up, Pablachino? It's chilly out. Oh, yeah, I bet it is. Fremont's in the house. Harry's in the house. What is going on? And hello to our sister channel, Expatainment, because other people do chime in from both sides. So we've been kitten watching. And here's the crazy part. A cat showed up yesterday, and we had rehomed Mango. I know it's not Mango. I always am concerned about where they're rehomed, like here in Angeles, whether they're making it back to our house, because one came exactly yesterday, and Lena Pina's kids, we had the one that passed away, the other one we rehomed. We had Mango rehomed, so there's a couple of yellow and orange male cats we rehomed. A cat showed up yesterday, and I'm trying to get out all my photos in the camera, and I'm going through our drive looking to see who he is. I was like, George, I said, I think this is one, because he's insisting on coming in the house. And usually the strays never insist to come in. They're usually wild by that point. I know they got a name for that. I want to say mangy, but that's not the word. And sorry if it sounds like my voice is compressed. That's just part of my asthma, and my lupus has been acting up. Um, and they put me on steroids twice a day. Um, so it'll probably crack like a 13-year-old schoolboy turning into a man. I mean, okay, I'm back. So I'm kind of sound like a 13-year-old here. Um, but I don't know where the cat came from. It's really weird. They're just too wild at that point to come in. Now, Bella has been going outside because she was used to being outside with the expat that traveled to the US. We got Bella back, and I'm happy with it, but we didn't know we were getting 4 cats, 3 kittens, and a mom. So Bella's been going outside, and Gucci's been going outside. What a hot mess, man! Because they stay out there for a couple hours. They're both vaccinated, so I guess that helps. I'm just concerned with them mingling with the outside cats. So it's we got 3 or 4 that just hang in the carport. I call it a carport with the e-trike, and but we doubled down on the water bowls, which will bring me into the first story, and then I'll go into comments. Probably go into another story. They're saying that a lot of areas will have no school today. It was hot yesterday. I have 2 fans going upstairs in the cat room right now. It says that it'll get up to, in some areas, 46 Celsius or 114. And here we are in March, early March. So, which brings me into the end of February, also means basketball month or something. They've really been at those games. Yesterday or day before, power outage. As soon as I said there was no power outage, it happened that night. And but yet somehow the basketball game continued. I don't know. I didn't see any battery backups. It was dark over there at the basketball court. I don't know if they all just flicked on some lighters or a campfire. I don't know what was going on. But I know that the buzzer, the horns, which sounds like car horns, kept going. And I'm like, way to go. Kids know how to have fun here. So, but it's going to be hot as hell today is the forecast. I always keep the AC somewhere between 27 and 25 when we really have to. Hi, Mama. You want to come here and say hi? Come here. Looks like I might be able to get Mama here. Hi, Mama. Come here. Hi. Now she's going to. Hi, Mama. Yeah, I got Mama. Come say hi. There she is. Isn't she pretty? Oh, okay, okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Good girl. It's the dog makes her nervous. The dog is here. But she's got some long hair. Hey. Hi. And she's just sitting here now. No, the dog jumped at her, so she's kind of scared. Hi, honey. No, she's a good girl. Hi. She's coming back to say hi. Let's see if she'll stand up here. You want to come up here and say hi? She looks like Gucci and she looks like Bella. There she goes. But she's a good girl. She takes really good care of the cats. But there's Mama Cat. We called her Baby. It was Baby Bella, but then when Bella came back in the house, she was like, we called her a Bella Junior and everything. So anyways, that's hot. Let's get into it and say hi to people. Again, this is an open Q&A to ask questions. You can ask questions about us. You can ask questions about, living here in the Philippines, Social Security, what we're doing, just different things about life here that you may not get somewhere else. Within reason, won't talk about how many times we're having love time and all that. I mean, I might. So it's just, or we just be told my old beeswax. So good morning, smile and be happy, and hope everybody's got their coffee, beer, and whatever. Hey, Philippine Antics Squad, MB is in the house. Slick Rick is in from California. Is it going to warm up there today? Good morning from a side trip to Tokyo. Yeah, I wish, man. That's one thing. One of George's daughters have been there a couple times. George has been there. I haven't. If I'm going to go somewhere, there's 3 places eventually as my health will improve would be Tokyo and it would be Thailand just once, and then Vietnam. Them are just the three places I want to see. I don't have any. I mean, we were a short period in Singapore and didn't get to see a whole lot of it. So, coffee of the day is candy cane, candy cane, candy cane cream candy cane. And of course, it's sugar free. I've been trying to cut out on sugar. I've been doing a pretty good job about it and carbs. So I only allow myself treats every now and then. And that's been for over a month now. So doing pretty good on that. I'm improving some. I still have my bad days where I can't move at all. And there is Scott and Aziza World in the house. And Pablo is in the house. It's time to set back. So let's see. So right now it's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. That's where you're at, Scott. Let me know you're at 8 o'clock. So that'll kind of bring it back. Sometimes I want to, especially if George isn't joining these live streams and he's only coming in once or twice a week. I was thinking about going earlier, but a lot of you guys have indicated to keep it at the same time. And here's the thing. When we used to start at 10 or 10:30 our time in the morning, everybody was here. We seem to get more people in at the 10 o'clock marking. So it's I don't know anymore. It's weird. Sometimes on the silliest subjects we can get 130 people in the room and they're not even big topics. And then there's times we can have just the basics, and it really is an algorithm, who's up, who's doing what. Um, but yeah, let me know. Windy and cold. Fremont. I think about that movie. Who was in that? John Travolta and some three guys. I'm trying to think of the name of the movie, but he tattooed Fremont across his chest. Thailand started the DTV visa and a big hit so far. Yeah. Now, is that the business one, or is that the digital nomad? Oh, it's probably the digital nomad, digital something visa. Yeah, I mean, it just depends. When we came into the country during the pandemic, that's when the vloggers boomed, and it brought a lot of income. And that's the story I was listening to with the P. And she had went into talking about she was going to get into massage and get on a cruise ship. Something about breaking up with a boyfriend that was cheating on her, and she told her own story. So this isn't secondhand. And she was going to do that until the pandemic hit. And then she said she heard some channel doing something, and she said that she could do better than that because it wasn't that good. And then she did. And of course, she's had her channel and about as long as we have. And that's what she was going to do. Well, when it comes down to the vloggers, they had announced, and we've still got the article and the paperwork from the tax office. It said that all digital people that are doing vlogging or any sort of sales or selling items have to start paying taxes. It doesn't matter if they're foreign or not. You have to find out what. And you guys would have to check into all of this. And at that point, they've still been coming around that. Some channels have been busted for it. Others have went through. A lot of them have registered. But I do feel eventually with the amount of vloggers that come in, even if it's for 3-4 months, they're going to want them to have, to figure something out if they're working that long. And that is considered working when they're out, like the big channels. It could be the little ones. As long as you're being paid a substantial amount, then that's where, but the digital one could be anything. And there's a lot of them. There's people selling Amazon stuff and just doing that. And then there's all kinds of jobs, positions, book writers that are being paid well, and they would still be considered a digital income, any sort of money being made. But there, in my opinion, of course, it's higher requirements. It's, you got to have insurance, X amount of income, and they're going to start really, going through that. So chilly out with an exclamation point. Yeah, Bay Area. Hey, Christopher Fulton, Heidi, and all you Antics fan Antics. What'd you guys think of the Kool-Aid song again in the beginning? I played that on the last live stream. We worked on that, and George was running through the house, and I told you we were watching them redos of the Saturday morning cartoons where they do 4 6 hour gaps of Saturday morning, and they had one of them on there, and George went running through saying, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Wait a minute, why don't we do a song about don't drink the Kool-Aid?" Because I've been talking the last couple live streams about the regurgitation of everything, which I get it. I mean, like today, there's not a whole lot going on. I still need to do a live stream, but some of it, budgets, no money, the dating, and all that over and over again. But some of the Kool-Aid you just don't want to drink because even me, before we came here, although George is a citizen, was born and raised here, and even had a family before he came. Like he had a child before he even went to the U.S., so he wasn't, like born in the U.S. or super young when he arrived there. He had not been home in a few years, so he was really doing a lot of hours and working. Of course, I am on Social Security disability, and I was working part time in his office, and where I would just help with papers and scheduling and stuff. And when I watched these videos, knowing we were going there, it's like, oh, well, I can afford this, and geez, you guys are saying 600 a month, 800 a month. We got this in the bag if we're running $2,000 a month worth of income. And I'm like, okay, not a big deal. And they're this and that. And then you hear people like Sunshine. He said he came with a backpack and X amount of money. So did every man. And these are channels we watched. And it's like you get here. And I had drank that Kool-Aid and put a couple packets of the dry powder in my in front of my jacket. So I was drinking it and carrying that shit. So it's just where it is. And I would just hope, we get a lot of people that just send, we get a lot of emails, we get messenger messages, and we get people that do ask, questions that, they don't want to ask on air and all that. And we'd be more than glad to answer them. But there's just so much, and sometimes we just don't know what to cover. So we received like 4 odd emails this week. Somebody that sent out the emails, remember when, well, I have to remember, it's just recently where every man passed away and somebody was attacking his wife through email. That same person just recently sent out 2 or 3 emails and attached it to a ton of vloggers and like viewers, whoever's email they could find. They took the time to go find every vlogger's email. I think it's a list of like 100 people, and they sent another strange email out that had nothing to do with nothing. It basically complained about the Philippines. It almost looked like a scripted vlog, but they could have asked ChatGPT to do it. I have no idea. But they sent it out, and then one of the vloggers had the nerve to respond to everybody, "Hey, by the way, watch my channel." And I was like, wow. It was kind of odd because it came from a Proton email, which is a troll account. So I figured it came from somebody stupid like Sick Grandpa, or, just one of those dumbass trolls that are out there. But they literally were attacking. I mean, I know we covered, every man has a story and his wife, but this was to a different level. They were accusing her of murder. They were accusing her of killing him with meds. It was crazy. And we did discuss this. Some people threw it in our room the last time. And it was kind of out there. But the same person has put out the exact type of email, attached everybody to it. And then one channel, I wish I could remember their name. I can picture them, but they did. They responded back, "Hey," and they put a link of their own channel and video in there and said, "Hey, everybody, check out my channel." Which I don't know. Maybe I'm just hating here, But it was just strange. But who knows? Everybody's saying their hellos in here. Lack of Spot is in the house, guys. Be sure that you guys are hitting the thumbs up. I haven't even looked. I haven't opened up the live stream itself usually. Uh, that is one of my pet peeves, and is the dancing of these TikTokers and the young generation now. This little simple bouncing stuff. It's not dancing. It really isn't. And I get it. There's a good chance that I can't do it due to my disabilities and size and everything, but it's not really dancing. I opened up to go look at the channel, and there's one of them, the ones where they do those. George said the name of that, where they do this thing at the side of their tongue and they do all this weird. It's just one of my But I guess I don't watch it. All right, let's see what's going on here. Hey, Ruby is in the house also. Yeah, because it really doesn't tell me. Yeah, I just hit the thumbs up to our own live stream. So it shows 12 have done that. So if you guys are on a device that you can, be sure you do the thumbs out, thumbs up, hit that, and subscribe if you haven't. So, like a spot, I like all that. Let's see. That says the world sweeping cats, paws, Philippines, eating those pineapples, hamburgers, drinks, coconut drink in the house. Love you, love you, kid. Just chillax here. Typical Bay Area weather. Feral. That's exactly change. Yeah, feral. That's the word. Because it's weird. Because baby, I almost swore she belonged to somebody, but she's been in our yard since a kitten, so it is possible. But when she wakes up every day at the house and she goes to sleep, then to me, I haven't seen her. No collar on her. No nothing. And we've seen her since she was hiding across the street under cars. So I'm assuming somebody didn't let their cat just wander off like that day and night. Could be lost, but she had been living in our yard. And then she had her batch of cats here. The ones that own the cats in our neighborhood, the cat China. China is the one that we brought over from the restaurant across the street. She was in the traffic and people were feeding her at a table. She'd go right back out by the car wheels, and I was afraid she was going to get up inside the cars. And then I brought her over here and we had been feeding her. So basically, she was just an outside cat for us at that point. And so she's still there every day, day and night. But every time she has a kitten, she goes 3 doors down. And I think she's permanently living there because somebody put a collar on her. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm not going to, she was already an outdoor cat, but she wasn't really feral. I mean, she was and wasn't, but either was baby. But there are some that are totally wild that you can't even get near. The black cat, there's a black cat out there they let me pet, but the rest of them act like it's weird. They're kind of get all spooked and stuff. But no, this new cat that keeps trying to come in the house, I swear it's one of the old kittens that belong to Cookie or belongs to Lena, the original. There was one orange, but it's not Mango. Mango lived further away. He's in San Fernando. So, but that's what we're going to do is keep this set of cats. Most of them will not fix them. The vet that will come to the house and fix them they're telling me 6 months old. That's almost an adult cat. And it's going to be hard to give away an adult cat, but we're going to go ahead and additionally cover their vaccinations. They've already been covered to be fixed. So the 4 of them, and we're going to vaccinate them. We've got the flea oil when they get big enough and the worming pills and take care of them. I just think 6 months is too big. A lot of people want the kittens to bond with them. So I'm going to see if they're, if the vet, like taking them into a physical vet, will do it at 4 months old, because I just think it'll be too old. So it'll be the same cost. So, but East Bay, Pleasanton, after years in San Francisco and Oaktown. Some cats here are in and out, which I find scary because the coyotes. Oh, yeah. And here, there's all kinds of things. It's kind of crazy, too. I worry about the field across the street. Willie, he scoots out, like when I go to take out the trash in the morning, or George takes the trike out, or he goes out the gate. George doesn't even see Willie coming. I turn around and give him the stare, and I'm like, you better stay. So he kind of stays in the corner. But when George just goes, bouncing towards the gate, he won't even look back, and Willie slips out. He knows that. And he gets across the street, and there's them little stupid burrs, and they get them stuck to him, and they get stuck on the e-trike cover, and now there's 1,000 of them. I don't know where those things come from, But he gets over there and gets them, and there's old trash and people crap over there. Like literally, they go to the bathroom because there's a market up the street, and it's just nasty. There's dead animals over there, and I just wish he would stay away from there. And I worry that them cats are getting over there, and there's snakes over there, and kind of crazy pit over there. I wouldn't wish my worst enemy to fall into that yard across the street. So a like a feral. Gotcha. Yeah, that's I couldn't think of. Me and George get feral about 3 times a week. Yeah. George is on a mission to get meds, barbecue. They sell these like barbecue on a stick, and they sell them in several packs at the store. And he's supposed to go get actual dry dog food because the stuff we ordered online, I don't know what it is. It's been 5 or 6 days. It has not moved. So he went to go get 2 kilos for the gang. So we just have the 2 dogs. So or Antics, fan antics. Yeah, we kind of coined that phrase a while back. There, we call our people fan antics because sometimes they love us and sometimes they don't, and usually they're fans. We most of our people have been with us for a while, and then we get a bunch of new ones, and so yeah, we got to come up with another one for Expatainment. Maybe we'll just call them fantainments. Sounds good. Fantainment. Michael is in the house. What is going on? All nice places if you can afford. Yeah, the place of, yeah. All right, let's see. Michael, Heidi, are you planning on relapsing? Please don't disregard this question. I'm genuinely asking because we care about you. Okay, well, I'll answer that. Relapsing for what, Michael? So evidently you're one of 3 people, okay, or you definitely are drinking the Kool-Aid of other channels. So are you talking about my 25 years ago situation? So the answer is no, that's not you being concerned, that's you being a troll. Because most of the people that are here don't even know what you're talking about, probably 99% of them. So the answer to you is no, troll. So that's not a concern. You're upset because you've been blocked for your real name. Very warm in Palenque City, 35. Just slept most of the day and summer's coming. Yeah, it's gonna get hot. Thank you so much. She's a very good kitty. We have a lot of good cats here. I was fighting them all off this morning when I was giving wet food to the kittens because they're only partially eating right now. So going to get a Coke float at McDonald's. I tried one of those a while back. There's something with the soda here. The Coke does not really taste like Coke for me. It could just be the 2 restaurants that we've gone to. It's almost like they don't put enough syrup versus the soda. It tastes more like it's just the soda water. So I just stopped drinking their Cokes. Even George doesn't like drinking any of the drinks from McDonald's except for the iced tea. And so, hey, what is going on? Ted is in the house. What is going on? So, looking up some of the stories here. M Doggy is in the house. M Doggy. Yeah, Michael, bite me. We know exactly who you are. So I disrespect the Philippine culture. Isn't it funny they find the one female expat that's doing a vlog and I'm disrespecting? Are you even kidding me right now? It's okay that if a Filipina or Filipina channel actually covers and disrespects left and right and any of the expat cultures. And it's okay that the Filipinos do it themselves, okay, but you realize like 8 out of 10 of them are doing that, and then you're in here trying to troll. That's weird. Know who you are. Okay, exactly who you are. That's the funny part. So, I mean, that's really a weird statement. So, yeah, we'll just take care of that. Create another account. So you're mad because you've been banned and you've been banned for some time. It doesn't matter if you have membership or not, or whoever you are. But I guess glad you come in to say hi just to get all stirred up that you must think about me day and night. 9:12 in the Philippines. Okay, so yeah, he's let me know it's 8:13. Yeah, so it's an hour behind. In Tokyo now, most impressive, efficient city I've ever visited. 36 million people and traffic moves flawless. Plus, every train, metro is perfect on time. Yeah, that's something that, like I said, I noticed about Asia is that the Philippines seems to be behind on everything. It's as far as like even Vietnam after all the stuff that happened also. And I know a lot's happened in the Philippines too. I'm well aware of it. Just seems like it just has majorly fallen behind. Even Thailand, like somebody said, Thailand, Vietnam, most of those are unrecognizable from when they were here in the 80s or 90s or even 2000, even 25 years ago. It's God, it's hard to believe even to say the early 2000s. This is the last winter. Scott is getting ready and packing up those boxes. Hey, Alan Murphy. Fremont, 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 Fremont. All right, now you Bay guys got to figure out the time. That's right. So that'd be 8. It'd be 5:30 p.m. give or take for Ted, probably right now. Okay, yeah, designed for nomad remote workers, YouTube. Yeah, because it would be considered YouTubers too. And I know a lot of them go about the taxes and all that, and they're like, oh, okay, well, that YouTube is in the United States. But here's the thing: a lot of these guys have 13As. A lot of these guys have, they have permanent residency here. It would still be considered here unless you have a specific type of business, and then you're doing other things, and you'd still need to pay taxes here. So now for George, being it's filed for him paying taxes here in the Philippines, it shows Singapore on the paperwork and paycheck. So that could be why David Campbell and his wife attempted to go to Singapore to get help. But there's an office here, but they don't actually help on those things. So, da, da, da. Do, do, do. And da, da, da. That's odd. Michael says George doesn't want to be around me. Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, George. Of course, we mentioned that before. Is that probably it'll be almost 4 years in a few months that we've actually been here, and George has returned home. The first few years, yeah, pretty much we were on top of us, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's not with you in the live, or he's not this. It's he's been doing his own thing. He's been doing more of his gaming channel. He has another online job that he does for extra money, and he's been spending more time with his granddaughter. Sorry, I like my air conditioning. They part of their house is not air conditioning. I'm not going to sit around for 7, 8 hours. A lot of expats don't always hang out with family, so it's kind of like a Filipina. He just does his own thing, and we spent the first few years what we call literally on top of each other and locked down. We were locked down the first 6, 7 months of our marriage. We were then locked down in Mexico the whole time from the cold weather. I suffered even more from the lupus, could barely move. And he helped with me and take care of things, and it was really great. So yeah, of course he does. All people do, and they should have their space. So George is in, mysterious dude. Hey, PH Expat Prepper is in the house. And of course, we said Ruby is in the house. Pablo says, "Who can figure George out, man?" Yeah, he's a um. He's different, but I do find that a lot of Asians have the same type of. He's definitely Filipino. He's extremely nice, but you can get tempo out of him. You can, assure that he loves the animals and he's sensitive, but then he's got spirit and he's got bite and grit when you really need it. But for the most part, he's just chilled. He likes the gaming, he likes the anime, he likes movies, and I do tend to find most of the Filipinos like a lot of these things. So he's, yeah, just where it is. Just don't get on George's bad side. That is a possibility. You guys seen him go off on the Grab driver, and just a few months ago, he went off at when we went to Landers. There was somebody who tried to cut off the car to get a parking spot. There was 3 cars back behind us, and they just came up alongside like they do when they get in line. They're so passive on that stuff; they'll just ditch in line without a second thought, and it's. But George, some days it's just like snap. It doesn't matter. It's not even me. I'm just like the first year or so or two, I was like this, like I was ready to jump and pounce. But now it's George that he's been living here and he just can't understand some things. And but yeah, it's true. It's like anybody. Filipinos, just like Americans and British and everybody else, they have their limits. They're human. They're human. It's where it's at. Speaking of budget, Heidi, have you noticed the increase in the start of the year compared to the same as last year? Um, I don't know if I've noticed a huge start. I've just noticed this past year things are getting more expensive. And especially being I'm cutting out on the junk. So when you buy junk, it's really cheap here, like the snack cakes, the chips, and junk that everybody eats, or the cheap fast food. It's cheap, but if you go to get like something legit, like grilled chicken with some real vegetables and a salad, and you start eating things that are better for you, the prices everywhere, including Filipino places, are really high and everything is combined with sugar. But if you're not eating street food and rice, then the groceries go way up. And so, being that is making me worse, it's not the weight that I'm looking to lose, which is only a bonus, but the food's expensive. So, to give you an example, I think it's 200 grams of butter, which is probably 2 sticks, is almost $3 to $4. On average, it's $4. It's 200. I'm paying 240 pesos for 2 sticks of butter. So that's $1.50 a stick of butter, $2 a stick of butter. That's kind of crazy in the Philippines. So that's half of somebody's wages at 500, 600. Or so beings I'm using butter to cook with and buying fruits and vegetables. The cost has gone up there, but it's not as high as the US on some things. I think the rents are getting out of control in this area. I calculated some of them the other day. They're wanting 60, 70, 80,000 pesos. Yes, it's a 3 bedroom. Some have 2 bathrooms. These don't include swimming pools. I'm like, I'm not paying 1,500 a month to live in a house. So it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And so I'm just not going to pay those type of rents. One, we can't afford to give that kind of money out. But even if we had savings and we had his money and then George's Social Security came in and we had multi streams, I still wouldn't pay that kind of money to rent. So rents are, it just, I can't believe what expats and what Filipinos are charging in rents. It could be, I don't know who's doing it, but the rents are really crazy. So I did the thumbs up 10 minutes ago. Thank you, Pablo. Hey, Victor is in the house. Yeah, let's discuss that. What a way to go. Sad about Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy, and the dog. Here's the thing. They've been talking about that the last couple days, and Gene Hackman is a great actor. He has an Asian wife, and I wanted to discuss that today. I think there was a gas leak or something. I think he went to go do a walk. I think that's how come the dogs were out in the yard. But now they're talking about foul play. I don't know why. I mean, wasn't he, how old was he, guys? 89, 87? He was up there, maybe even in his 90s. And I don't think so. I think they said there was a space heater in the house, that there was some sort of heating element that was turned on or something in the house, which was odd for me. If a house had central heat and air, well, I guess you can get cold in one bedroom. So I guess that might, I don't know. I just can't see using a device that's that dangerous these days. But the fact the dog is gone, I don't think somebody broke in and then just poisoned him, his wife, and his dog, or I don't know where the foul play. So was there something new on that? That was extremely odd. So, yeah. Some barangays offer free spade and neuters. They do, but it's not all the time. Usually in our area, they come through every few months. So a few of them we've done here at the house, but being it's a mass amount, we will take them direct to the office or bring the guy here because we get really concerned on some of those about the young kittens picking up on stuff. The previous one we did. And even at that price with the medicine, it would still with the four of them still probably be about 10,000 pesos, but we don't see any up and coming right now. But yes, they do sometimes. Yes. Yeah, I know they run different ones at different times. But it'd be easier being I'm going to have four at the same time, and we've only got like one carrier. Currently, we have one carrier. I can't see putting them all in there. I might. Some people might stack them in there, stack them in there like burritos or something. But um, we have actually received financing to take care of them at the office or to take care of at the vet. The vet will cost the same. Bringing the guy here cost another, I think, $30 or $40, but I think it's worth it because it's just much easier that way. So. Hey, what's going on, Lou? Heidi, I have a flight tomorrow to Mexico City, visiting family in Guero. Is it Guero? Mexico City. They just put a warning out for Mexico. It was on the Facebook group. I think it was on one of the embassies. Thank you, Victor. Big difference between Philippines and other Southeast Asian countries are the political scene, graft and corruption take over government funds. Yes, thank you for saying that, Ruby. I tried not to because everybody says, and not just this idiot that came in today in the room, but most say it's nothing but negative. But after seeing other channels, I'm like, what's with people? And I said there to myself, yes, I said it's because they love me. After I watched a couple hours of YouTube yesterday, I'm like, are you even kidding me right now? If they're picking on me on this channel, it's because they love me. It's everywhere in front, and most of the time I'm reading from the news or what other expats tell me, and then I'm the hated, like I'm hateful. But that is what's going on. I think most of the funds for things, and I think there's a lot of geez, I'm missing the word, where one job is handed down to nepotism. So whatever job is at this point will be handed down. Now, it does happen in the U.S. like that in small towns. And like I do feel Donald Trump's son will probably become the next president. And then Barron it might be one to the other, but it'll be voted in. Here it's bought in. And it is a big position of a lot of rich families like here in Angel City and here in Mabalacat City that just take over everything. Like if there's competitions, it's usually them that win it, and I just can't. They're paying their way through a lot of it, and they do. And I don't care who this offends; it's the truth. It's been spoken that the Philippines is the hillbillies of Asia. It's they just had a whole article saying that they're the most hoarding country. I thought it was number 3. They're number 1 on the list of, showing houses full of junk and where they hold on to things. And it just, overall, the country has which will bring me around to, I'm glad you have that up before I move on to the next. Let me, 1 second here. That'll bring me into two of the stories that are going on. In Baguio, I believe it is Isabella. I could be wrong. Let me know. The bridge collapsed. It was a $1.2 billion bridge. Marco says heads are going to. Okay. Which is, by the way, a $21 million bridge, 990 meters, and Cabagan, Sta Maria. George told me what the Sta meant before, bridge. Thursday night, it collapsed. They just completed that. It had been working, and a few people were injured. And they're saying it was based on shortcuts, funds, things being taken from it. Yeah, somebody lined their pockets. But here's the thing: I believe that happens everywhere in the world, including the U.S. Look at the crap that's going on with the U.S. I can't even begin to put my finger on such bullshit going on in the U.S. of years and years and years. This is going on, and all of a sudden, one president, doesn't matter if it would have been Hillary Clinton that would have went through and done this. But the country is exposing itself on all this fraud, money being given away, billions given away for wars, and all of this stuff, and they're exposing this, and it's kind of some of the stuff that's going on here too. Everybody taking a piece of something, and it's leaving the average person high and dry. Kind of like U.S., they're talking about taking away Medicaid and food stamps and all that. And I think the children and the elderly people should be left out of this, and the disabled people. But those are the ones, and the hardworking people that really needed it. Not the woman that I seen yesterday on YouTube, where they were living in a trailer with trash and junk up to their neck, no clean beds. The kid had lice. The kid he had one sandwich 24 hours ago. They got $700 a month in food stamps. They were all sleeping in the same bed. There was a 18-year-old daughter. The 5 or 6-year-old was her kid, and they were sleeping in bed with the dad, or they all called him grandpa, but it was weird. It was just some hillbilly crap going on. And those are the people. And she was going on about not having a job, not looking for any work or nothing, but the whole family was on the system. The kid was getting disability for something, and he looked hyperactive. I know they give Social Security based on some mental issues for children. They were all getting some sort of system. Those are the ones they need to research. They all look like they were hyped up on some sort of substance. The daughter looked totally out of it. And that's where they need to stop all the corruption. But it's going to be the hardworking Americans that are going to go down, the ones that really, really need it, and they're trying to clear it up. And it goes on here also. So the bridge had went down. I seen another article about the amount of tourism coming in. They're hoping to change that. The last couple of years, they keep saying that, but it doesn't change a whole bunch. The numbers came in, and 14.7 million people came in for tourism. To me, I don't know what the numbers are for the other countries, but pre-pandemic, it was 17.1. They said this year, or talking about last year, this previous year, it was 1.7 million Koreans. And you guys wonder why Walking Street is full of Koreans, or who's running the places or whatever. You can bet there's Filipinos behind a lot of that too. Followed by 1.3 Americans, and then 500,000 Chinese. And then after that, it starts listing the other countries as far as who came in. But they're trying to increase tourism, but there's, as far as like their incentives and all this other stuff, the only thing that I know that would help is they're talking what that also will help bring people here to come live here long term, to get their long term visas, like the SRRV would be. I know they've been talking for years, and it probably won't matter now with the crap going on in the U.S. There are several Filipino legislations or groups and all this that are trying to push for Medicare to be used here. Now, there's been American groups, there's been people in the US fighting, there's bills that have been put in, but it came back up in another article, and I believe it was through the Philippine agency. And they're really trying to fight for that because if Filipinos that are OFWs or that had finally just lived in the United States want to come home, a lot of it's medical. And they said that if they could get their Medicare and be able to collect their Social Security and do all that, they would come home. Here's the thing with Elon Musk and all this stuff going on, it looks that Social Security's got about 7 good years left before you get a cut. And they are talking about doing something with Medicaid and Medicare and all of this. And we would have to see. They're claiming that's their new vamp on tourism if they can get Medicare to open up to bring back a bunch of Filipinos and more Americans, and who knows. So I'd read that in the news recently too. So, hey, good number. That looked like the position of me and George last night, 69 and 19. Switch that 19 around, whatever that means. Thanks, Scott. What is going on? And you know what? I figured that. I was sitting there looking at the comments and seeing that idiot that was in the room here, and that's what he is. That first thing I thought when I said open Q&A and you guys can ask anything, everything in me told me to say except for stupid stuff, and then I didn't, and then you came in. I should have went with my gut and called you stupid to begin with. Go petition that, you dumbass. Oh, Lord. A lot of love. Jeez. George is cool. Yeah, George has been, he's just like his energy levels have dropped. It doesn't matter coffee, it doesn't matter good food, bad food, naps or something. His energy is zilched, and he's not diabetic. I've been checking his blood and everything else, but he sleeps a lot. But I don't know if that's just a change in life or don't know. He usually rewatches these, so yeah. Haley skims through them anyways, but oh, the Oscars are tonight, huh? I don't know. Is there really? I don't know. I have that feeling about Oscars and how they're fixed, kind of like when Beyonce won the country award for Cowboy Carter and stuff. Now it said that Elon and a bunch of others could be all gossip that it was all fixed and Jay-Z paid for it. I believe the same with the Oscars. Those awards, the music awards, when I was a kid, they meant something. Now they just hate to bust your bubble. They're bought, paid for, and pre-planned. They can't. It's not like in the 80s. They might have been paid for in the 80s too, but I guess I just was more vulnerable back then and believed all that crap. So, Heidi, chatter among the Filipinos in Dumaguete, is that a crime? Is it on the rise? What's the situation in Angeles? Yes, the crime in Dumaguete is on the rise. Here it is too. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Now, I want to let you know that's weird because one of the articles, if you go look for Philippine news, it does show an article within the last few days saying that crime is down by, I believe, 37%. This is but top of my memory. Remember, I read newspapers a few days, online newspapers. I'm on Facebook, and I read the article. It said it's down by 37%. Remember, this could have been last year. They could have been calculating for 2023, 2024. When they do them, it's kind of odd, but they said it was down. It's on the rise here. I'm glad you mentioned that because there was just a Facebook forum, and I love those Facebook forums because they're so raw and real, or we get messages from people. And somebody said that 2 lady boys on Walking Street literally attacked a guy. I thought it was a British or an Australian guy. I don't remember which, but it wasn't an American. They didn't say it was the American. They didn't say it was British or Australian. They attacked him with a stun gun. They're walking around stun guns robbing people. And so they're not even playing around trying to drop something in their drinks, which can happen at clubs anywhere in the Philippines or world. But I have to say it does happen. I've read articles, talked to people, but stun guns, two lady boys. And so they made jokes. The funny but not funny part is people tried to make light of it. Oh, did it hurt? Did it feel good? Or, they turned it in, but I don't think it's funny. And then just about a month ago, they said that they were at SM City Clark walking around in groups at different entrances and they were taking wallets like they were professional pickpockets and hitting people up there. But I think this happens everywhere. Maybe not, but I can only tell you what's going on here. So, let's see. Um, there was a guy hit at an ATM sometime last week. And reading Expat Forum. Some of these I don't feel we should do just a live stream or come in and do it because it does happen. And we tell people do not go to the ATMs at 3 in the morning. And what was it? It was about 2 in the morning. The guy on the way home decided to go to an ATM. Another one was just walking home when he got robbed. And it's like, take the trike home, man. They don't take trikes, they don't take a cab, and it's 2 streets over, but I would still take somebody with you. I wouldn't walk anywhere in the United States at night right now, nowhere. It doesn't matter if I'm in a subdivision that was rich. You never know when somebody invites a cousin of a cousin over and their friend comes with them inside the car. They let the car inside and their friend is criminal. Who knows? You just play it safe and then people get here and they lose their minds. And so it is somewhat on the rise. I'm hearing more and more now. We live in Mabalacat City. We live in an open subdivision. I've left the gate open overnight. I've nothing. Nobody's tried to get into George's car. His windshield wipers are still there. Nobody's tried to. We got very thin ropes on our trash cans. Nobody tries, like the trash cans. I think we paid $40 each, which, a couple thousand pesos, who knows? You got to make sure that some stuff is chained down. Nobody's taken anything. Nobody's nothing. So I've left water bowls on the outside of the house, but other places they've walked up and taken people's shoes in parts of Manila. So I just think it's based on the bad person is what's really going on. So, but it is. It's they say it's down, and it's weird that the article just came out when I'm seeing more issues. So, and I guess it's to be expected because jobs are slowly being lost to AI. Jobs are just slowly being lost. And now that they're closing those pogos where they all were doing office jobs and the scam hubs and all that, those that didn't get arrested are now out looking for jobs. Thinking about it, they've been immersed in scamming people and they stayed doing that. And now they're going to leave. What do you think they're going to do? Honestly, what do you think they're going to do? Yeah. Hey, what is going on? Timothy is in the house. Timothy is in the house. See, I'm just looking. I can't see everything. So I'm going to the bottom of the list here real quick to see who's in the house. Black Grandpa is in the house. Gene Hackman was 95 and his wife was 63. Yeah. Mike Miller said the autopsy said no carbon monoxide detected in their blood. That would happen medically if they'd been dead for a while. How long was he dead? Did they say how long they were in the house? I know they said somebody showed up at the house. Was it the next day? Because if they had been dead for 48, 72 hours or their bodies are decomposing, then it would be out of the system. It's something that just doesn't stay once the blood starts to best. I mean, I'm not no doctor, but I know some science to it. It's possible. So it depends on how long he was dead. So Harry Walsh said he was 95 and 65. All right, no gas leaks because the autopsy showed no carbon monoxide residue in their blood. Foul play ruled out. They did that to get a warrant faster, which allowed them to gather evidence immediately. I believe he must have been having a heart attack, and then she frantically to him to get meds and fell and hit her. Did she have a gash on her head? Interesting. Yeah. So then why did the dog die? Ted said. I'll get to that here in a minute. Mike Miller said, I still remember that song, The Freaks Come Out at Night. The freaks come out at night. I used to go to the roller skating rink, guys, and we used to go to the United Skates of America. My sister would have to bring me. My sister is almost 3 years older than me, and we used to go. I believe it was Saturday, not Sunday. It was either Friday or Saturday, depends on when they had like where you'd get the skates and everything for one price. Our mom would drop us $5 and drop us off, and we used to, Atomic Dog and all that stuff. Wow, wow, yippee yo, yippee, wow, wow, wow. Oh yeah, I miss roller skating. I tried it again. I think I was in my late 30s, but I had put on weight. It was a lot harder not being in skates. It's kind of like when you try to get back up on a bike again. Even after I'd lost weight and got at my smallest size a few years ago, I still couldn't get a balance on a bike. It was crazy. I'm like, first thing I'm going to do is get on that bike, and then bam, couldn't I did just couldn't find a balance. Isn't that weird? Spring is finally on its way to Ohio. Yeah, George is good people. He really is. He lets me know, like today, he's out like actively doing things. And if he's at his family's house or if he was sleeping during the broadcast and I can't get him up, I'm like, I'll just cover it. Then he goes and rewatches it, and he does appreciate it. Yeah, the prices are up. The rents are out of control. I know it's not every one of them, but then if you go to get a rent, like we're lucky. We've been here 2 years and our rent is still at $195 or 10,000 pesos. It pretty much this same place in other areas can be 7 and 8,000 because of the neighborhood, but we're really close to MacArthur. We're really close to SM, and but if the rent went up to 20,000, I'm out. There's no way I would pay that. Really, I think we're pushing it where we're at because when there's the repairs weren't done. It has no appliances in it. Both sinks are leaking. We've been fixing it over and over again. There's a lot of things going on with the house. And then initially we had it painted, but one of the bedrooms upstairs we have to have painted again. It wasn't clean. We had to bring somebody in and still put the deposits, and but the rents are out of control. That's all I can say is that there is no balance for the infrastructure that's here. So I looked at some of these houses that they're wanting 1,000 US for, or 15 or 2 grand. I'm like, who the hell would give 2 grand? There was one that was 85 and they wanted first, last deposit, first, last, the first, last, and another one for security plus the 15,000 for the utilities. And I'm like, who's going to give 3 or 4,000 or whatever that adds up to move into a place in the Philippines when no job around here pays it? The only person that could afford that is a high end doctor that has his own practice, or there's just no way. George's brother's a doctor and he comes from a good family, and that would just be out of the question. That would just, I just can't imagine. Even if it's got to be the richer Koreans and richer rich families, and there's not that many of them here. And it's the expats that'll come in and pay for that, but I can't even see that. I can't. And there's a lot of them like that. I just still can't get over the price of rent here, how it's going up on some of these places. And pre-pandemic and during it when we were here, we were not seeing those prices. But I understand people have to eat, and they're it's kind of like when they're pushing the market in California right now and other places, they know that they can. So 95, yeah, it's going to get hot today. 114 is what I have here. And the last thing that I'm going to throw in that I found in the news is, did you guys see the girl that was from another Asian country, the vlogger that got burned up by her own birthday balloons? Like she had helium balloons near fire and it blew up, and she's got all these burns right now. That I have a video, but I can't play it. And then they found a crap load of cigarettes down in the Sulu, allegedly 2.5 million worth of smuggled cigarettes that come into the Sulu. So it's close to the area down in Mindanao where Elliot Eastman was, and they're always confiscating these cigarettes. It's insane. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Juan? Hi, hi, hi. Ackman was 95, 95. His wife, okay, 95, 63. Okay. Yeah, I was just reading through these. Expats are the reason why rents are going up. Where the costs go if living goes up. I think so. I used to say that, but there is a science to it. George is really good about breaking that down. I think it's just the cost, the jobs. The expats are a small percentage here. The percentage of expats here are not as big. It seems like it. Like right here, it said 14 million total traveled in and out. And there's a percentage. Now, I did mention the other day there's 35,000 people that are living here on Social Security. So that's Americans. I had a breakdown. I'll see if I can find a breakdown for the next live, a breakdown of expat life, maybe. But the breakdown is not as high as you guys think. It seems like there's a ton of foreign vloggers here. You always hear them, bitch, cry, and everything else. How us expats are so bad and so harsh on the country, and that we're doing all the destruction. When in fact, hate to say it, it's Filipinos are destroying their own country. It's insane. We got our own problems going on in our own countries, whether we're British, American, or whatever. But the truth is, I'm just going to call it out. I get so tired of that. Oh, it's the expats that did this, and the expats that are bad and causing all these problems. They're the ones that are the sexpats. They're the cheaters. They're the abusers. When in fact, it started all at home. It's always been here. So that's some harsh truth there, or truths that are just there. But I think it's because it's just crazy. Like when I was looking in at our birthday and birthday cakes and all that, the cakes are $24, $26. I just seen another cake company that opened up the road, same thing. But these are cakes that most Filipinos cannot afford. So who's buying them? It's the richer Filipinos, the richer. You have the Korean towns that have been produced that have people born here in the country, and it's generational wealth. And what I don't like is the average Filipino cannot afford it. And for me, I can't either. I didn't come here to spend $30 on a birthday cake. That's the insane part. So we ended up, them little birthday cakes that we were getting from Komori, they run anywhere between, I don't know, $18 to $30 for the tiny ones. So for me, that's insane to pay, which is almost double a wage or a really good wage here for just the cake. So the costs are here. I thought the country would be a lot cheaper with the way the infrastructure is, the no jobs, but it's not. Those are still going up. The inflation is like, boom. Cebu City rents are closing in on U.S. prices. However, surrounding area is affordable, but almost zero accommodations and amenities. Yeah, I would agree. Some of them, and that includes in other cities just besides Angeles City. I've seen that too. And when you see them say, "Oh, well, it's only 30,000, it's only 40,000, it's only 50,000 a month for a one bedroom," and when you see those prices, like we did a rental thing. I believe it was a rental live stream where I talked about rentals. It might have been on Expatainment. When I seen some of the prices in Cebu, two of the places were in Cebu, and they said 35,000. It was just a flat. Some of them didn't even have a room. It was just like one open loft for that price. So 700. Sorry, before George, I was paying 700, including all utilities in the U.S. for an apartment. Now it was on my dad's property. He had an oversized property that had was a 2 or 3 car garage that got converted to an apartment years ago, like in the 80s. It got converted. So it's got bathroom, a full, deck out back and all of that stuff. And yes, it's because it was my dad. But besides that, yeah, he was getting 800 a month for it. But yeah, it was like one open place and then the bathroom and but my whole point is when I was raising the kids, 600, I get it was a long time ago. 600 was the rent for a 1-2 bedroom. And this thing slowly started going up. And I know houses when we left were somewhere between We were on the outside of the city with George's house. I think it was 12 being raised to 1,400 pre-pandemic. So I imagine now they're charging 2,000 for a house that he was living in. That to me is just insane. I was watching Will and Grace. I think it's a funny show. It doesn't have any difference whether it's gay, straight, bi, or whatever. It's hilarious as shit. I like the Karen character on there. And it was hilarious. She said that she found a place. They were looking at rents, and she said, "Oh my God, 1,500 is too much in New York." I was like, "Holy snike!" You'd even hear her say that. I was like, "That would be a bargain anywhere right now in the U.S." But it's out of control, man. And thank you guys for joining. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, it helps. Whether it's Expatainment or Philippine Antics, it helps a whole bunch, guys. And just commenting and let me know that you're here. And consider becoming a member. We have membership. It helps with the strays and cats that we have, the ones we feed. It helps with equipment. It helps for the outings. And we do appreciate that when you guys support the channel. It shows us that you care. Okay, you don't have to care about me, but care about poor George. I'm saving for his funeral fund. It's time to put the banner down. Saving for George's funeral fund. Oh, MG, we had somebody that left a comment. They were like, we know at the end of the day, the money that you make, which was probably the same troll. He says, we know the money that you made. It might not have been a troll. He goes, we know that the money that you made all goes back into the same household. So you're spending that money and it's your money anyways. I'm like, no, not really. And I was just about ready to answer him, but I'll answer on it here now that I think total, we said we've made, I think the total amount, like it shows an all in all amount made for YouTube, including stickers and the stickers and for the memberships is under 6,000 because we file taxes every year. And it shows a total amount made altogether. And so it only amounts to a few hundred US. And then by the time George gets taxed on that, by the time he pays the apps that we use, it's $25 for StreamYard. We pay for a bunch of them for editing, creating the music, all of this stuff that we do. And then it goes into the pets and it's his money. Like George spends money. He spends more money in this household than even comes from the entire YouTube. So it's money that he's legitly spending out of his own bank account. It's his bank account. The money goes into there and that's up to him what he does. He also has multiple channels. This isn't the only channel that Philippine Antics or that George has. So it's like, no, I get it. I kind of wish, if so, I'd be on vacation, bitch. It's like, I was like, yeah, I wish it was a household thing. So it's, it's support, it helps. The biggest thing that I'm happy about the support of the channel is I love the cats like he does. We love these pets. Now, Mary, hey, Mary, you want to come show us your Jollibee outfit? Show them the splurged outfit for the $1.50. Mary's sleeping. She's got a new Jollibee shirt. Are you sleeping? You want to come say hi? Well, come here. Come here. But yeah, we love the pets, and I think a lot of people like the pets. And here, come here, sweetie. You come here, sweetie. She lost her shirt. Here, the shirt is, I call it like boxy. She did have it on, and when I went to go lift her up, it fell off. It slipped off of her. You want to come say hi? Looks like a Christmas shirt, doesn't it? You had it on when you were sleeping. How come you smell like a wet dog? Did Dad do your laundry yesterday? Let's say hi real quick while you got a crowd. Let's say hi. And say hi to Baby May and the puppies. I know, say we watch Baby May. Here's her Jollibee shirt. Yeah, it's kind of boxy. It's a medium, but yeah. Say hi, Mary. Hi. You want to say hi? I know you a good girl. Is that what keeps you warm from the AC? I know. What a crime. What a crime. Yeah. What'd you have for breakfast? Toilet paper rolls? Oh, hi. Hi, Tweet Tweet. Oh, looks like Tweet Tweet wants some attention here. Want to say hi? These guys are like best buds, although she is bigger. That's Tweety, the one that's blind in one eye. But yeah, so there's her new outfit, guys. And it was 89 pesos. So basically less than $1.50. $2 would put it 120. But yeah, so I like to keep a shirt on her. One, because of the AC in here, because I've seen her where she's shaking, and the other, and it's not even that cold. And the other part is she doesn't mess with her skin. So she is a Shih Tzu, and I said Shar-Pei the last time. No, she's not Shar-Pei. Shar-Pei's the wrinkled one. Um, but her skin tends to be dry and she itches, although she has flea oil. It's not from that, so she gets like hot spots. It's just part of the. Was that bridge made by the Chinese? I don't know. Probably Filipino, man. According to them, I believe they're saying it's just shoddy. Let me see. I think I had some of that article. I'm glad you mentioned that. And keep the comments going. I'll keep going through them until. Ah, so George is still out and about. He says he's at the pharmacy waiting now. He says there's a line. The power was down. So understand when the power is down, guys. Even their register and how they actually do things, it holds everything up that they're doing. Telling me he loves me. Thank you. He calls me Bubby. He goes, love you, bub. So, all right. So I'm looking for that article. So I digress in here. Talk amongst yourselves. You guys thinking about that roller skating thing? Let's groove tonight. Yeah, I miss that. And then I used to skate backwards and stuff. I remember when I first started roller skating, my sister taught me like everything. And then once I got out there a few times, I thought I was hot shit, man. And it was fun. It's like where you met up with your friends. And then my sister had her own clique. And being she was 3 years older, so like it, being she was a couple years older, she didn't want to be seen with me type of scrub. Man, remember when everybody got called a scrub? I know you got Scrub Express. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna write that down. I've got, the Scrub Express. Because really, that no scrub thing by TLC. No, when I was in high school and middle school, scrub was everything. Oh man, you just a scrub. Look at your jeans and all that. So it's no scrub was a real thing, but you're just a scrub. So what am I doing? I'm still looking for the article. Do that. It's weird that the photos are under what's called AI gallery, and I don't know why it would be under that. All right, there's the cigarettes from Sulu. Heat index, including it says Clark Airport up to 46, which is about 114 degrees, guys. There it is. President Marcos wants answers in regards to a collapse of a bridge. 1.2 billion newly opened. The collapse of the 990-meter bridge on Thursday night left 6 people injured, including a child. The bridge was open to vehicles only last month, and it already went down. But here's the thing. I mean, let's be honest about the construction of a lot of the homes around here and who's building them, and like even if you pay a big company, what appears to be a big company, a lot of them is just these guys. Like, look at Old Dog. I was going to cover Old Dog's story again about the housing. We'd already covered it, and there's a bunch of new developments and everything. But again, that's another one of those draining things to keep up on and to keep all this stuff going. And he covered it a bunch, and it just got to be, whatever. But he went through a lot on that, and a bunch of other people too got ripped off. And then the company took from local businesses, and all that stuff went down. But usually they move and build their own place to live while they're building a house. They don't go home at night like the United States or other countries. No, these people live at the construction site, but yet it still takes just as long or double the amount of time. So they're living on the property and building outhouses, and it's kind of crazy. I've never seen anything the way that they construct here except for the Middle East. And that was even crazier. Like the stairs here in some of the houses remind me of like the Middle East, where it looks like they got no, they just build like it was the year 39 AD or something. But yeah, a portion of the bridge gave way. Are you kidding me? Did you guys know when they started building that bridge? It will be investigated to determine if the corruption was involved from the time the construction began 11 years ago. Is this thing on? That's what I said this morning to George. Hello, is this thing? Okay, I mean, I thought I was being easy on the Filipinos a minute ago about the building thing. 11 years ago. How long does it take a bridge in your country to be built? Like I said, if you guys didn't see my last live stream, I'm not here to make friends. I mean, if it happens, I am 53 years old. I'm married. I have all the friends I'm getting. I make new friends. I do get out in society. I do have Filipino friends. But my point is if this was happening in the US, I'd still be saying the same thing, except for I hate to say it. No, I'm just going to say it. Filipinos are just more sensitive, but it's well, everybody's sensitive these days. What am I talking about? 11 years ago. If there is, we won't allow anyone to escape from accountability, said the presidential office. Wow. 11 years to build that bridge, huh? Once we determine who's behind the wrongdoing and the tainted corruption, someone should be put in jail. Didn't say they will, said should be. Like the one going on in the US. What a bunch of crap. Wow, 6 individuals, including a child. Yeah, the photos were, um, it showed cars down in the water and stuff. So incredible. Luckily, it collapsed at the entrance to the bridge. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. He might have been poisoned. We'll see what the autopsy turns up, but multiple people passing away. Yeah, is suspicious. So maybe the wife, maybe, possibly, or something, it might have. But they said that he had his glasses and like he was ready to go somewhere. I don't know if they were on or by the table or, Bella, what are you looking at? You're freaking me out. The cats just randomly stare at the ceiling when there's no flies, and they'll do this weird thing and they'll stare at the curtain. Like we have a curtain divider at the stairs because of the AC, and it's like they'll just randomly stare like somebody's coming through it. When George isn't in the house or the middle of the night, it trips me out. But they said there were ghosts in here, a ghost kid or something. Um, but last night we just on the side note, last night we had thanks Philip. Last night drove me nuts. I, maybe a middle-aged woman, get up at that bathroom break, 1, 2, 3 o'clock situation, trying to get back for a few more hours before start taking care of the animals, breakfast for us and all that. Somebody about 2, 3 a.m. just set the dog off. I know they had a party up the street. I'm assuming somebody slept over at their house, and instead of them using their bathroom upstairs, downstairs, or whatever, they were over there. Or we just had another homeless person across the street in that nasty yard across there. But he came in and out of there like 4 or 5 times within a half hour and kept the dog barking the whole time. I almost didn't get back to sleep. George sleeps through everything. I'm telling you, everything. And I even opened up the door, and the light's usually on anyways. The cameras are evidently present where people can see him, and they're it's active. But it was wild. But he just didn't pass on by. He actually hung around, like literally was up there over there by the wall across the street, and in the lot across the street, coming in and out several times. And so it was kind of crazy. But just being truthful, they do say that. It was my first call on the country, and people say, "Oh, well, you haven't even been there." Just like they're talking about the president, the vice president. They were like they're making jokes. Did you guys see SNL where they did the opening act of the whole thing that happened with Ukrainian president? It was hilarious. The whole thing was hilarious. But it's like I've been to those countries on Google Map. That counts. Ask regular guy, man. Just I've been there. It's not saying he ain't been there. He uses Google Maps to show you places. And when I first started watching him, he was showing the Philippines through Google Maps. I'm like, he probably ain't even been here. Now we know regular guy, and he's a legit person and all that. But that's how I've been to other countries. But I'm gonna tell you now, in comparison to other travelers and videos, I don't have to be there to know what they're saying about the Philippines. And those that aren't admitting it is in denial. I get the pride. If somebody says America is a shit show, I'm the first on board to say it's a shit show because it is. No accountability here for a lot of things, including that bridge. But it's like that in the U.S. too. So it's just what it is. But believe me, if other channels and other guys say that it's a shit show right now, you ain't gonna hear a word about it. But not a word, doesn't matter. Name the top 20 vloggers that you guys watch. But if I say it, then it's, oh, Heidi said it. Bite my ass. Bite both cheeks and get a good bite on the other side, because it is what it is. So it just is. It's I just seen Sunshine Shoulders, where he was at that beach that they cleaned up in Manila. But if you just go around the corner, there's a whole area full of the trash still. And there's a lot of cleaning up that needs to be done. They still don't have a hold on their trash system and waste management here, and the electricity infrastructure, the internet infrastructure, and it's 2025 and AI has already rolled in. In another 5 years, your child will be born with an AI assistant. I'm telling you, it'll be a chip built into their retinas or something, that'll be installed just like getting a vaccination. And the Philippines is really falling behind. So other countries are, but for what's going on in the other Asian countries, but they got to get a hold on the jobs and everything. Yeah, hillbillies left my ass off. Uber drivers called Filipinos. Oh, snap, man. I know you had to go there, right? So now that you went there, I'm just going to agree. I told George that's the very first thing, that when I seen the women, they came in and did testing on us when we entered, went through the whole pandemic thing, and they came to the hotel. We had to stay 10 days in separate hotels and paid close to $1,000 for it, and for a 10-day stay and little teeny packets of food they delivered. It was way overcharged during the pandemic. The girls came in, and the first few Filipinas I seen in person, when George, he was over there, I'd yell because we were across from each other indoors. I said, hey George, I said, you know what, after spending 6 months in Mexico and coming from Florida, I said, they look like the Mexicans of the Philippines. And he says, it's insulting or something. He goes, you can't say that about people, that they look like other I was like, it's what they look like to me, with their round faces. A lot of them have the round faces and the wider noses. Let me show you. And I was like, babe, I just came from, Mexico, out in the indigenous areas. I said, it does. And then he started talking more about the Spaniards and all that. And I said, well, I didn't look up history before I came here. I didn't know. I mean, I never paid attention to that. A lot of people learn history later. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, some of that makes sense why they have the Hispanic names and all that. And I was, yeah, they're the island Mexicans, and meant in a good way. Yeah. I mean, yes. And you know, it's kind of like when people lived in the Ozarks. Same thing. People all have different lifestyles in different areas and how they live, and without water, with or without electricity, and different ways that they do things. Yeah, I read through that earlier. I believe they must have, frankly. It could very well be. And then Ted said, "Why did the dog die?" Yeah, I was curious on that. Yeah, I know they said they're checking the pace maker that he had. Philippines wants expats to spend money to build up what they don't want, but they don't want the broke expats. There are some extremely broke, and I think that if they would have put all those in place, okay, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, I hope they don't do that based on me not being able to. Then I probably wouldn't be here. If they would have added in that I needed the full insurance, because using a temporary insurance, being as I'm coming here permanently, wouldn't have worked. I just heard somebody say there's another Thai expat, like an American expat that came in, or it was a British couple that they ended up in the hospital for something. And if they just would have spent a few dollars a day for insurance, that they'd have been covered. Now it's emptied their bank account. It's true. There's a lot of mistakes that can be made. It can happen to me. But with stricter guidelines, it also restricts anybody from visiting just as a visitor versus long-term expats. I think when they're coming here to live beyond, I think they need to tighten it up like they do in some of the other Asian countries on these guys doing a 36-month run and they're not married. They don't want to get a visa that's long term, but yet they've been living here 20 years type of situation. So they do on the medical, they do need to make sure they have X amount of income. Some have little to none. There are a lot of guys here on welfare, Social Security. So, or things that they shouldn't even leave their country, like in the UK or Canada. They weren't even supposed to leave. And it's, they risk every single thing. It's bad enough. And I said, at least have ticket money like I do, and at least have an incoming income. And then I have George producing income. So it's not totally bad, but we could still be wiped out too. It's a gamble, but I feel that things would have been a lot worse in the US possibly. So George probably would have had a stroke at the pace he was working, 6 hours or 6 days a week, 16 hours, like literally from till about 10 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning till it was crazy. 6 and then he was still up, about 15, 16 hours. It's crazy. I just can't even begin to tell you how bad it was as far as how much work he did. And he did it because the other employees, he wasn't making the kind of money for the hours. He knew that, but he had the business for 10 years. It was the other employees that needed paychecks. And so he's really a good guy. I haven't watched the Oscars or Grammys in 20 years. I have lost the interest. Same artist every year. Yeah. When I was looking for, like I said earlier, I was looking for something on YouTube in front of you guys. It's the new TikTok dancing and the ones that do the same, and it's not really dancing. I get that they're TikTok dances. They're TikTok, the new age stuff. I get not everybody has the talent to do it, although I don't know. You see the small kids now doing it too, and people are like, they got their kids doing it, and it's crazy. I just think the talent is gone, and I think AI will take over. I think all these actors, like I didn't even know Gene Hackman was that old. In my mind, he's still just 50 or something, or 40. We still see them like Lucille Ball and all those that we grew up as kids watching. Although by the time I seen him, it was in reruns and in Syndicate or whatever. But it's kind of scary when I keep seeing people that we watched as kids and see them age. It's kind of crazy, like Pamela Anderson and stuff. It's who has the stun gun, the perper, the lady boys. Yeah, it was the lady boys, not him. He was. They. I can't see the foreigner, but then again, there are some rotten. Yeah, so it was the lady boys. Hey, good morning, Curtis. What is going on? No one ate the dog. Poor Willie. Yeah. 9 days. Yeah, the freaks come out at night. Okay, so there's a good chance. I'm not going to look it up. So okay, so 9 days. There's a good chance that if there was, but I'm not a medical. Maybe they can. There's so many new tests out that have come out in the last 10 years that I wouldn't know if they could or not. So define that. Pretty sure they'd have a test to find that by now. They have been, for a while. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they had a date based on that. Wow. I listen to this channel, even listen to the replays. All the other channels are becoming dating channels. And for new person, I'm married now, so they are no value to me. Thanks, Discerning Dash. I hate the price increase of rents, especially 1,000 plus when the average Filipino makes less than five. And 500 would be a good amount. Who are they marketing to? Yes, and the cost of, like I said, the birthday cakes, things that are important to Filipinos. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And it's very rare that we buy something out and about that we don't buy online so we can get a price comparison because we don't know if we're being taken for a ride at the markets and stuff anymore because it's more expensive sometimes to buy in the market than it is to buy through Lazada, Shopee, or there are so many shops now. There are wine and alcohol shops that'll deliver cheaper than the local stores sometimes. Like that's where we got that bottle of wine that was made for George that has his photo on it and it was less than 20 US dollars. I want to say it was like 16 or 17 with this photo on it. And decent wine on, in the store could cost way more than that without being personalized. But the whole thing is for me is it's either out of stock, not available, and we're in a city. And just like old dog said, sometimes you have to go out and it takes all day to get one item. So like right now we have on that little washer that I use down here just to wash a few outfits at a time, um, that there's a little hose on there. I could probably go to 4 or 5 different places. And one, I don't want to be out there for several hours. That's hard on me. And then it's a stop and start, finding parking and all of this. I get Filipinos will walk around. Yeah, you'll be walking around all day looking for that hose. So Shopee and Lazada have it. I guarantee with it saying 200 pesos online, 150, 200 pesos for this little plastic tube, it's going to be double out there. And I know they got to make their money at the stores and all of that. So it's either out of stock or double the price. And George, every time we go to SM or the mall, we look at it and we know we're paying double. Like we had this tablet cover, same thing, got home and it was half the price online for nicer ones. And there was like this little sheet cover to cover the top of the cell phone for protection. Same thing. They were charging 200, 300 pesos for one piece of it when you can get a 5 pack. And so it's just, you're always going to find it that way. But yes, I don't know who, how, or why. And I have heard other vloggers, other expats on Facebook. You'll see people now starting to, like I seen another guy recently that was talking about the cost and the wages versus, like the amount of income. And we are in the middle upper class. Some months it'll put us up into the high end, depending on how well the money George makes. And in a case like that, we still do not go on vacations. We still don't have the money to jump from country to country and do this, and that. Living here, as a Westerner, where we have things that we would have used back in the West, and we have AC all the time. It's just, we spend our money in other ways, like on the pets and different things, or vet bills or doctor bills, and kind of crazy. I think the rents are way out of control, and crazy part is they rent these places out. I don't know how, but like the average Filipino that is making that income of under 30,000, and that would be good if they're making 600 a month. At 30,000, they're not going to pay that. So yeah, just I don't get it. It's still one of the mysteries for me here. Like I said, in Mexico, it is the same as here. It's hard to get a job, so you would have to have a digital job, but at least their items are fairly inexpensive. Like their electric is dirt cheap. Here we can pay, like I guarantee next month's bill, we just had one at 7.5, 7,000, 7,800. I guarantee it'll be at 10,000 next month, somewhere between 9. And so that's almost $200, almost more than our rent and electricity. And for me, that's insane. Yes, we have the AC on, but it'll pull harder. It'll stay at the same temperature and everything, but it'll go up. It pulls harder. According to the coroner, they were gone for 14 days or more by the time they were found mummified. Ooh, due to the dry weather. Oh, okay. So it is okay. There would be the residue. Okay. So then, yeah, that is really odd. Yes, is unfurnished. For furnished apartments, it'll be a minimum of 25,000 or in furniture. Yeah, but those are not there. These places that I've been seeing are unfurnished. Now, on the occasion, the ones I'm talking about, some have the ACs at that cost. That's what blew my mind. Some of them didn't even have ACs or furniture at that cost. And it's, if it had like some of the beds, like what you'll basically see is no refrigerator, no stove. Some do have the refrigerator and stove, which is average in the US to always have a refrigerator and stove. But it'll have a few beds and it'll have a few window units. So it kind of depends on that, but it's still not, it's still for me, it's it's kind of insane. They keep changing and giving different information. The only attraction going for the Philippines is they speak English. Thailand and Vietnam is cheaper. Yeah, they're showing it's cleaner, the infrastructure, everything, the food, everything. But it's probably the English. But that's the first thing I squawked about here is I feel that the English is not as proficient as I thought it was when everybody said the English is, because most of the time I can't communicate with like those that arrive here at the house or on a phone call. I have to, like George said, I have to slow down when I talk to them. And there's heavy accents, like really, really heavy. And to me, they're Hispanic heavy accents. It's not like when I hear a Thai person speaking English and I can hear an Asian accent when they speak. For me, when they speak here, it's a heavy Hispanic accent. It's really heavy. Um, you know, yeah, so it's a bonus. It's definitely it's way better for me than Mexico. I will give it the thumbs up on it, but I think the but it is their country and I know X amount of words and I can understand part of it, but holding full conversations for me is harder. And with my schedule and my own medical and different things that I do, I try to look in and watch videos that have the language. I've even played the videos at night. So I'm trying, but I need to become more proficient. Kevin from Scotland just wondering what's the biggest adjustment you made from living in the US to living in the Philippines? Um, the heat would be the biggest one in the infrastructure. I just adjusting to a lot of sick animals and animals that I can't help because my heart, like George's, we love animals, so I don't like seeing them like that. So there in the US, if you found an animal that you're not caring for, you can really just go drop them off at a shelter. You can literally pick them up, either keep them or drop them off, or there's not that many here. They're everywhere. The adjustment of the beggars, like there are literal, we're not talking YouTube begging. We're talking you can run into five or six before you even go a half a block that'll actually ask for money when you don't even think they will. We've had people carrying bags that have been shopping that have asked us for money. And it's like, that was just really strange. Like you could see they just went to the store themselves and then they just seen me as an expat and they walked up and and I'm like, George, I said, the guy, I said, I mean, I was trying to figure that out. So, there are laws, against it. We outright feed people instead. Like if there's kids or disabled or elderly, we tend to do it. But the adjustment of the animals, the the people that ask for money, they say this is one of the heaviest countries. They don't get that in other countries. And I would agree. I've been to a lot of countries. I've not been to the other Asian countries, but when you hear other people that have traveled and the expat forums, I'm saying overall, they say this country is really heavy about that. So it's an adjustment, and the heat would be the biggest thing. Um, I don't know if you repeated that. Did I fall behind? Yeah, she's just agreeing. Ruby's agreeing with that. Thank you so much, Alaka Spot. Hey, California Karma. Hi from Arizona. Our Airbnb is 95 a night, taxes and fees, and our place from 1,000 a month. I just seen recently that was it Thailand or Vietnam that just announced that Airbnbs are now officially illegal. I think it was Thailand. Could be wrong. One of them just announced that there won't be no more Airbnbs wherever they were, and if they do have them, they're not supposed to. So I'll have to find out what that is. I will put this up. Actually, I'll read it. A loving person said, while that there are a lot of crimes going on that are committed actively, yes, by the PNP officers themselves. It's been going on for years. Yeah, they just said that some of them were involved in that Chinese kid being taken or something. It doesn't surprise me. It's how, but understand you could pay off people in the US. I just want to say I agree it goes on. I just think it's because of the amount of no jobs, the amount they pay them. If they were paid more, even if they probably paid more, they probably still do it. It's bad people. Um, OMG, I can't with that Jollibee shirt. Yeah, she went right back over there and went to sleep. She's cute as a bug right now. It looks more like a Christmas shirt to me, but it's now she ended up getting a Luby, I call her Luby Hour Rose here. Um, and it's a same color, but it was supposed to have like the white face and look like that printed on her shirt. It came and only had a white outline. I was like, now that was a bummer from the same company. They probably ran out of the print, but it was kind of sad because I wanted it because it looked just like her, same color and everything, and it just got a white outline of her face. It's like Miss Calico. Oh, skateboarding. Yeah, George is a major skateboarder. I paid 300 rent in my condo, and the rest adds up to around 500. Which I have to be grateful that it's better than the cost of the U.S. But when you balance out the cost and infrastructure, a lot of people can't handle it. It's a big reason they go home. The cost versus the things going on. And if you guys set your mind to only come here and get some wussy ussy, and they really set their mind for it when they come here, then you're going to be disappointed. Then you got the other group of guys that come here and that's all they're looking for. And they get, they drink a lot. They live out their fantasies, dreams, and everything else. And they go to all the clubs here and they go to them in Manila because Angel City ain't the only place. And it's only two streets, possibly three, that all goes on, and then they just get disappointed by everything else when the alcohol wears off. And it is true. If they come here long term, they're in a relationship and they break up, and then and then they go back, and so the cost is really playing a factor. It's a major reason that I came here, and I discussed that the last time, that if it continually goes up quicker than I've seen any country go up and they don't change anything else. And to me, at that point, it just seems like they're gouging. It's everybody. To me, it's starting to feel like skin tax all over. And Filipinos have family homes. Other people have other homes to go to. Some will go live far out in the province and just, I don't know, there's 12, 15 people in a house. It won't happen like that for me. So when it just gets to be that crazy, then I might actually leave, maybe head back to Mexico and take my chances there situation, or go back to the US if all else fails. And I get it'll be really expensive there. I figure by then I'm just going to drop in on my kids. Me and George will just drop in and that'll be the end of it. Or maybe we'll move to the family house here. There's family houses here. So who knows? But I can't. That's why we live here. We've been shamed about, oh, you're living in a crappy subdivision, which doesn't really bother us just mentioning. But that's where I want it because it's not. I just looked out the balcony and seen all the brand new cars up our street and on the next street over. And it's like, yeah, it's a mix of different types of houses. There's even little shanties in our area, like small places, look like it was built overnight. But the whole point is there's a ton of cars here and, middle to upper class families working in this neighborhood. And it's like a mixed neighborhood. And so I'm cool with what I got going on here in my AC. But the moment they say, hey, rent's 20,000, I'm going to lock him out. I'm going to lock the landlord out. Ah, let's see. For a newly built bridge to collapse, it would have had to have been a structural failure. Inspector, yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, I just mentioned how old they've been building it that long for what, 12 years, 11 years. That's insane. So there's a major problem. The bridge was already 11 years. I mean, if they've been slowly building it that long, that's insane. It really is. I paid 34,000 for Western style 3 bedroom 2 bath pool in Duma. See, to me, that's still. I mean, was that seven times five? So that's about 750. So yeah, I mean, in the U.S., that would be at least double to triple the price for sure. So yeah, I mean, if I had that, but I would have to see it. I would have to see the neighborhood, but I'm sure it's nice. And was it partially furnished? But pre-pandemic, I doubt it was that high. But Duma's going up because of the expats. Even Paul has been putting a bunch of information out there about, I think it just there's a lot going on there too. Look at our bridge to nowhere in California. That's nothing. Let's see. English is now the official language of the United States. Executive order of Trump. Yeah. Eh. Mm. Look at the high speed rail in California, 10 plus years and still have no train yet. Oh, I didn't know. Billions and years different. Well, I would have to say that's a train too, just not a bridge. But I didn't even know they were trying to put a high speed rail. They're working on one now to bring it in. I'm wondering. They're claiming it'll be here in a few years. Good morning, Victoria. Hey, hey, how's it going on? Won't be long in the room. Everybody's doing good. We've put cat videos on the other channel, the Expatainment Talk. Usually, if you type in Philippine Antics, it'll bring up the other channel. I put the cat ones over there because we said we put the cat and pet ones and some of the other stuff we do and some of the expat help on that channel. And this channel for Philippine Antics will be the expat help, the live streams, and we'll probably keep the Ricky videos on here like we've been doing. But yeah, the kittens are doing really well, and thank you everybody for your support. Thank you so much. So it's been really great. I'm really happy. Yeah. I mean, George says it makes Heidi happy. It's because I don't have to worry about them, and we would still take care of them. It's just a really rotten month for me because we're paying for immigration, and so we're going through, for those that don't know, we're going through an agency this time for additional papers and stuff. And so it's costing a little bit more this month. So it's almost double or triple the price, I think. So, and it's the last stages of immigration. So it's just a tight month, overall, and it does help. And so they're upstairs in their own cat room. The second bedroom got one is the office for George and space for overnight stayers, and then the other one we changed into a cat room. And we've got one of the fans on them up there. We've got a little camera. We took one of the cameras we had downstairs, and so we can see them all the time. So, and the mother's down here all the time, and the cats are in their own cage. So one escaped the other day, but Philippines will improve if they stress math and science and adopt technology more aggressively. There's a lot of intelligent people here, a lot of intelligent engineers. I'm really, when I first came here, it's like you wonder what's really going on. And it's kind of like, I get you adjust to the culture and you go with the flow and you try to. That's why so many try to change it or feel if they do this or that or buy, give, sell, lift these girls up out of poverty, marry them, all the different things that expats have tried to do for years. It would change it, but the Philippines has to take more steps. But I just can't see nothing for the next 20 years. I really still think they're 20 years behind. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I like that the kids still play outside. I like that they still take on their own cultural ways. It doesn't mean I've got to actually take them on. I mean, I do because I've been here so long. Like I find myself eating, with my hand and the different changes and certain foods and getting used to the sweet items and the way the barbecues and street food. And you just you adapt is what's really going on. But and I can appreciate a lot of these things, but I still think they're 20 plus years behind. Hey, Cindy, what is going on? Mexiphiles, our colonies share a lot of cultural through, through religion. So that's why you have the fiestas, the religion, the holidays. Close family ties are common for both. To both. I switched from looking over there to here, both as well as the moms. You had deadliest weapons, the chanillas. Yeah, there's so much in common to the Hispanic culture. And the first thing I said is, it's like they're the Mexicans of the Philippines, or the Philippines is the Mexicans of Asia. Is the very first thing. And George, I was like, it's not like an insult. We just came from that beautiful country. There's a lot of Hispanic and Mexicans. I know they're not the same. I'm just saying in Florida, and it's just where it is, and that's who they remind me of as far as their looks and everything. George just fits in everywhere. Like I said, it's kind of cute. Love how you talk about old time actors. Love American talk on here since no one here in the Philippines to chat with. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's crazy. I've been watching a lot of the older shows here lately. I started Will and Grace. Okay, one of my favorite funny shows, and it's funny because I haven't probably seen it in 5 plus years, and it's like watching it all over again. And now I have been watching Little House on the Prairie, some of the Knight Rider. I'll probably start watching the A Team, old shows that I grew up with. I've seen on like YouTube shows at all. Like they've been playing Alf episodes. And so it just kind of takes you back. And even if for just a moment we escape, even if you're in another country, like, sometimes I miss my family back in the US. Sometimes George is at his family's house or he's busy working. We don't spend every inch on top of each other. And sometimes just out of boredom when I get everything done, and I like some days at 4 o'clock I've already showered, cleaned, I pre-cook everything ready for dinner, and I'm sitting here like this. I'm like, well, I guess I can watch Alf. It's kind of like where it is, like, oh, I could sit here and work on something for the channel, or hey, Alf is on. And so but no, it's very nice. It's nice that this is one of the big reasons I do it. Is this is just like one big open chat, one big open. To me, I keep saying it's like therapy, helps with the boredom. I get to talk to my fellow expats. Are you about ready to jump up there, baby? Here, baby. Hi, baby. Come here. Something's wrong with her, though. I told George the other day I think she's broken. Because I'm talking about baby Bella. She's getting ready to jump. Oh, see, and that's what I mean. She just went to go jump and she missed the jump and literally slipped. So something's off. She's got baby. I'm glad that we're taking her on. She's got some sort of developmental delay of some sort. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. She like when she fights with the cat, she'll go right back up against that same cat and rub up against him. It's like the other cat, Tweety. She doesn't know any danger. She doesn't know any danger either. Like if there's a flame on, I've seen both cats jump up on the counter where it was hot, and they don't care that it's hot. So something's like, I don't know. They're not aware of danger. They're not afraid of the dogs. All the other cats are afraid of like they won't go up against, but those two brush up against. They're kindred spirits. So everybody's saying hi. Hey, what's going on, Michael? Hey. Online sellers are cutting on overhead expenses like stall rentals, employees. Yes, that's the reason why online prices are always cheaper. Yes, I understand. Yeah, but some of them are really, the price is doubling it. I mean, ask other expats. Some items out there are way too much. And it's, they're getting them for a fraction. Some places and stores will take a few pennies to 10 pesos, 20 pesos, okay. But when they try to triple their money on a pillow at a market, that's when I'm kind of, like me and George, like even George, like he'll look at me and I'll say, hey, it's up to you. And we'll sit there for a few minutes. It's up to you. And I said, well, I don't mind paying double, but when it's triple or 4 times as much, or they're asking that much, it's hard for me. But no, that's most definitely a true fact. Yeah. I'm constantly shocked at the rising prices in Duma and other areas. Yeah, it's not even a joke. Where I live, multiplied by three, no joke. Unfurnished too. That and the groceries and what they're selling, they're not even expat restaurants. It's almost like those Filipinos have seen the expat restaurants or the Western ones, and now they're charging the same thing. So the only way to get something inexpensive is if you take one of those backstreet stall restaurants, and that's pretty scary. Like I looked at part of the restaurants on Grab and Food Panda, and if you look up where they're at, a lot of them are just out of their houses. Like they allow these businesses, like even here in our section, there's people selling food that go through Panda. So it's like there's no regulations on these. They're supposed to be, but they're not. And so if you want something really inexpensive, you're looking at street food. We said be careful with the street food because that is really dangerous. Undercooked stuff because they're trying to cook too fast. New cooks and the inconsistency can get to be really an issue. But the cost is really going up. Yeah, Mary's being really cute right now. Hi, Mary. Are you back? Yeah, are you back to say hi? Uh, Here's Mary. You've been digging at your spot. See, there's a hot spot. That's why we keep the shirt on. She's been, but we put like a mix of spray that's got coconut oil in it. Here, say hi, Mary. That's what you want to be. Here, look, look. The people are here. Look. You just want to lick, or you just want to hug. Oh, thank you. You give such good hugs. You give such good hugs. Oh, I know you want that earring, huh? Oh, thank you. I don't need my eyes clean. Ah. Oh, look, my eyes. I know my eyes are dry. I'm gonna put you down. Oh, you're caught inside of mom's little jacket. Ah, what are you guys doing? No, it's always fun. Pets are nice. Got the grandkids, got our kids grown up, and the pets are a nice bonus. Wrong thinking here. We all have pockets full of money and we want to just hand it to. That's what's really going on, Cindy. It bothers me sometimes, for a long time when I first even moved here to this place. We've been here officially 2 years. And I believe this year we'll be going in because we lived a year at the other place. And so it was almost 2 years the other place, 2 years here. We're coming up on a couple years. And every time I stepped out, because there's a government official up the street with an oversized house, he hands out money all the time. Okay. But it was like, I thought that was against the law to give out money like that every day. And the guy gives out money every day to, I don't even think they're homeless because they show up on trikes and bikes and I don't know what's going on, but he's always handing out money. And then if I come out to clean or George does, they'll ask us for money. They come like a beehive right over to the house. And so it's like, it was kind of like rough in the beginning. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to not go out and do my things. I just learned to say no. It's hard, but I've heard several vloggers that have traveled the world that says, if we keep doing that, then the next expat they see, they're definitely going to hit them up and they definitely think we have money. It doesn't matter. And technically we don't. And like this month is really tight. I mean, I'm going to have to keep mentioning it because it's true. So usually, if a package comes in and I pay COD and it's 910 pesos, I've been known just tell them to keep the 90 pesos. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take back everything this month and just do the occasional tips because I always round up or we outright give a tip. And for those that didn't hear on the trash guy issue, he came around. I do know what my trash man looks like. I was sure that I did. And he came in the morning. He always comes at night to pick it up, but he was here exactly like clockwork on, I believe it was the 1st. I know it wasn't Sunday. I had to figure out what day it was. I decided to just not give him the tip. I paid him for whatever because he disappeared for 2 weeks. He got a month's worth of salary. The woman said he is coming once a week. He stopped coming the last 2 weeks. Plus, I gave him an extra 100. So he got 300 for last month. And he didn't even show up the last two. I wasn't tipping him this month. So I gave him the 200 exactly. And I would rather have some trash men right now than none. So because our neighbors say they have to go drop it off somewhere else. And, I guess if I have to have George do that, then that's what I'll have to do. But Resolved, I just paid him. I didn't even discuss it, didn't want to hear it from George. He just said, "Did he come?" I said, "Yeah, I paid him. I didn't give him a tip." And he's like, "Okay." Because I'm not going to pay him each time. That would be insane. But the neighbors do. They run out when they see him at night and they hand him a bag of stuff. And, so hopefully the bridge wasn't made from hollow block. Oh, gee whiz, lady. With the increase in crime in the Philippines, do you think you feel safer back in the U.S.? No, I still feel safer here. Sorry, I still feel safer here. It's the negativity and craziness that's also going on in the U.S. That's politically and otherwise, and the leftovers of the immigrants that got in and all the issues going on. But honestly, I don't have a true fear. Not in Mexico, not during the travel. I get nervous sometimes. I'm more worried about what I will do more than anything to protect me and my own and the household. George is the same way. So it's I do feel safer here because I'm not out doing something. If them guys weren't out at 2 a.m. coming back from a bar, they wouldn't be in that shape. And a lot of them are in their mid 50s, mid 60s that should be home anyways. So usually it's the same as anywhere. If you're where you are supposed to be, it's not that you can't go out and drink or whatever. You just have to be smart about it. It's anywhere. You just have to be safe wherever you are. Hey, Linda, what is going on? Hi, sweetie. What is up? What is up? I agree. If Philippines is price gouging, especially with rent, why will the Bilig bother? Yeah, and they know what's going on. They know what time it is. But I think they really want all their benefits. They do want to be able to use their Medicare because that's part of everything. But what's going on in the U.S. and Elon Musk and all that? Who knows what's going to be left? I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to go right down the line and pick everything apart, including Social Security. A lot of them are fearing in the next few months that there could be stops in some of the checks, and who knows what'll happen. I've heard everything. I've heard everything from A to Z. Oh, you're going to lose your check. Oh, you're going to this and you're that. It'll happen when it happens. I'll be home when I'm going to be home. I even laughed. Sick Grandpa or whoever that dumbass is said something on the other channel. He had mentioned that because it had been on there, so a lot of people read it, and then somebody sent me an email and they said, "Oh, we've signed a petition. Your ass is out. Your fat ass is out of the country." And I'm like, "Dude, I'll be out of here when I'm out of here." And it's like, it's an idiot, but it's like with so much going on. Who knows what'll be left of the Medicare? Who knows what'll be left of their Social Security for these Bilig? Like there's Filipinos that are coming back. It's a mess. And so who knows where the country will be in a few years. But I'll tell you what, I'm one tough bitch and I guarantee I'll survive. You think it'll be a punishment if these dumbass expats make plans to make false accusations and I have to go home? Okay, so I go home. If I stay, I stay. If I'm going, I'm going. Heidi's going to be Heidi no matter what, and you're still just going to be stupid. So, do Bilig have brown skin tax? You mean, well, George gets skin tax, that's for sure. And when they go to the United States, is it possible? Yeah. I mean, foreigners, yeah, when they go certain places. The thing is a lot of places in the United States already have stickers and prices, and they kind of know where the prices are. But here, a lot of items, just like not having street signs in the major cities, it's like you don't see stickers on anything. So they're really sometimes charging by the moment. It was like that in Mexico too, at some of the marketplaces. So it's George gets taxed, yes. It's kind of my wife's family is always asking me for money in the U.S. because I got white skin, and they think we have a money tree back. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. No, that is another thing. Is George and a lot of people remind me that a lot of the overseas OFWs are sending money to these houses, but they do without in their own place, so they can sit here and you know, it's just insane. There's a lot more I could say about it. I really do try to bite my tongue on that stuff. But it just feels like their families are working overseas, keeping a few hundred for themselves, sending the rest of them just sit around in the house all day. Their uncles, their aunts, seven, eight kids and nobody's working because somebody overseas is, they're out spending money freely and drinking and partying. And it happens in this neighborhood. There are OFW supported houses. And it just, for me, it's sad that and I know there's no jobs either, but like I told George, they could, there's online jobs, there's other things that they can try, pretty much anything. But it's not just my opinion, it's also other Filipinos. But love the channel and the content. Everyone, please hit the subscribe button. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap this up. Please share with friends. Thank you so much. With all the pros and cons of living in the Philippines, one thing you can't ignore is the resilience of Filipinos. In spite of the adversaries happening in their lives, they smile and move on. I would agree, and some people would disagree. There was a whole article that they went through the resilient thing of the Philippines versus, I forgot what they compared that to. That I would have to say, out of necessity, I'd have to see if I can find the article, Ruby. They mention that. It's funny you would say that because the article's been put out several times, once by the Manila Times. It says, don't confuse the Filipinos' resilience to having to survive and putting themselves in their own position. And they kind of went through the whole political side. But yes, that's something. But remember, like any culture, there is a toxic side, just like in the US, there is here too. So, not, all of them are, I think it's starting to wear over the generations. It's the new generation, is what George calls it, are having some major issues. It's almost starting to get like the US and the other countries where they feel like something's owed to them. He says they're getting lazier. There's kind of a generational gap thing. But overall, yes, where I will freak out over a storm, the Filipinos are resilient, but I think the article was dipping on the side of passiveness. It was kind of like, it's almost like, it's another earthquake situation too. But yes, I'm with it. 400 years of Spanish colonization. Yeah, it's cool. We were watch the old films, the 80s and 90s. Yeah. Hey, what is going on, Sarah? Yeah, those old movies are predicting it. Living blank. I lived in Mexico, Philippines, and nothing will pull me away from the US. Clean water, smart conversion, not having to look over my shoulder. I would disagree. The US, and it's just going to get worse. So, I mean, only being forced would make me go back to the US. And I love my country, but I still feel there's a lot of issues, and you must live in a very nice area or somewhere. I mean, everything is going on in the US. Yes, I get the clean water thing. You say smart conversion, whatever that means. But overall, it's not enough to keep you there either. So, and this is my husband's country. So there's a lot of benefits, and there's a lot of ups and downs about it. So, oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it so much. It'll go towards the kitty fund and George's funeral fund. They just let 7,000. Yeah, they let a bunch of cuts coming in 2031 unless they do something. But there's just a lot to that. I've been listening to so many different things on that. They let a bunch of the top guys go. They're talking about X funds were invested wrong, which is weird for me because if it was invested the right way, but yet they've got an answer now, so shouldn't that fix all that? If they're cutting the fraud and they're going to get rid of a bunch of people out of the system that were frauding, and then they can reinvest the current money. And what's the deal with this past generation that isn't putting into the Social Security taxes to cover the new ones? And how are they going to invest? Maybe they'll invest in AI. Maybe that's what's up and coming. But the next 5 years will be critical. What's going to happen to everything. And it should make people nervous that are wanting to go overseas or with their investments or not having medical. The Philippines still undeveloped, still developing, that want to move here, like I suspect in another 10 years, a lot of the things that I'm complaining about short of the heat should improve, like cheaper electricity, better, infrastructure, where the rents don't seem to be way outrageous compared to the wages. Some things may start to balance out, but I think it'll take another 10 years or so to get to that. So, all right, guys, great live stream. Safe, everybody. Yeah, Leon Musk, 2028, right? CGBG. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping in. And oh, hi, Mary. Mary's still here. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys Thursday. And that should be with George for sure. So, good night, everybody. And thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and consider becoming a member with the channel, guys. Talk to you guys later.